All right, y'all. Moment has come. I gotta find it. Hang on. It's right here. Okay. Let me start from the beginning. So this was a fanfic I wrote with my friend back in 2017. Yes, 2017. And that's not the original description. It's a different description. But I don't use the name that I put in this fic as my self-insert anymore. So I'm just gonna call her Devin. Everything else is gonna be the same. It's 2 hours and 22 minutes long. Holy shit. 24. I'm not reading the sex chapter. You're not gonna make me read it. I cannot read it on YouTube. Anyway, so completed. Mature. Yeah. And this got 1.7K 1,400 wait. 1,716 reads, 53 votes, and it has 25 parts. Holy shit. This was my lifeblood when I was little. Alright, I'm gonna read the description. Completed. When Devon moves to Alola to escape her troubles in Hoenn and Kalos, her life is thrown upside down when a certain boy turns up on her property with a horrifying ailment. And the table of contents goes as such. Prologue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's a sex chapter that we're not reading. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This also includes Vine Sauce references and like a reference to someone who hurt me in the end, but it's okay. It's okay, I guess. Um, yeah. All right, here we go. Sorry, I'm picking out my face. Here we go. I have to mentally prepare myself for this. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'll try to talk loud enough so you guys can hear me because my microphone is shit. It's from my Beats, and I don't have a proper microphone. So I will try to talk loud enough. The words will be on screen. Yeah. So here we go. Prologue. And I was Pokemon Trainer Gladion before then, but I'm fiery shipping now. 349 views, 22 votes, and 61. I don't want to read these comments because I don't take criticism well, and I'm scared that they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is a terrible story." I know it's a terrible story. It sucks. I tried to rewrite it like 3 times. It didn't work, so it's not canon. Well, it is canon, but it's not as canon as it was before. So sit back, grab your popcorn, and here we go. Let me unplug my controller. Don't need that while I'm reading. All right, here we go. Let me turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't want people bothering me while I read this. I might put background music too. I'm gonna close Ponytown. All right, here we go. My touch is black and poisonous. The original, and it's been completed, as you can see from here. Here we go. Prologue. I've figured out how to extract Nihilunga's poison, madame. Perfect, the older woman giggled. Her green eyes were full of evil intent. Just place it on the table over there. Madame, you have a stupid 12-year-old walking around in here. Just don't have to touch it, she snapped. The other woman shrugged, picking up the beaker and placing it on the table at the far side of the room. As expected, the boy ran over, curiosity shining in his eyes. What's that? He asked. Something you should never play with. Don't touch it, okay? I asked you what it was. The boy crossed his arms. It's poison, and it could kill you if it got in your bloodstream. The woman sighed. Kid, just touch it, okay? Okay, I guess. The boy let it be, so the woman stood up and rolled her eyes at the other woman. I I don't know why I used adjectives like that, I'm sorry. Of course, the boy had the instinct to take the things he was forbidden to touch. Big mistake. The sick purplish substance splashed all over the boy as he accidentally bumped the table. The older woman let out a horrified shriek, the other woman looking up sharply. Gladion ether! the older woman screamed. Gladion looked up, his hands shaking violently. Mother! The woman he'd referred to as his mother, the older one, Lusamine, rushed over to him, cradling him in her arms, noticing the UB's poison had seeped into a nasty slash on his wrist that looked fresh. Get him to the ER, fast, the other woman said. Lusamine picked him up and rushed outside, feeling him squirm in her arms and bury his face in her arm. The sunlight seemed to be too much for him, so Lusamine lowered the curtains in her car as she set him in the back seat. It's okay, sweetie, she reassured as Gladion started to cry a little. I'm turning on all the light. Mommy, it hurts. Why does... Okay, sorry. Mommy, it hurts, Gladion whispered. Lusamine flinched at the word he'd put off as babyish all those years ago. Help me. I am, she purred, trying to comfort him. Inside, she was furious, terrorized, and shocked. The other woman had put the beaker too close to the edge of the table. Perfect for a stupid little Swede to grab, she thought. Oh my god, he's fucking Swedish in this one, isn't he? I'm not going to say the Swedish words in this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open Translate. And I'm going to do this. Okay? So whenever something Swedish comes up, actually there's Russian in here too, so I can speak that, but if something Swedish comes up, I'm going to say it in Google Translate. Anyway, she was seething as she remembered his father's Swedish heritage. Lily didn't have his accent, and it was unfair to Gladion to be the misfit. Oh my god, she's fucking racist. Or xenophobic, or whatever it is. She growled and looked over her shoulder, wincing as Gladion looked down onto his shaking, bloodied hand.
Rädda mig.
Gladion whispered. Save me. There wasn't much Lusamine could do. The poison was already in his blood. She didn't really want her son to die. But at the same time, she realized what time she'd have to use Cosmog to open a wormhole and summon her Ultra Beast, and what a bother some children could be, like Gladion. She felt her eyelid twitch, an evil smile spreading onto her lips. Mother, please! Gladion's moans became faint screams, his terror hot in his blood. He cringed as the pain flamed up in his nerves, a terrorized scream escaping his throat. He hadn't screamed like this in a long time, and it took him a minute to catch his breath. He flopped back on the seat, feeling like he was on fire, his throat burning from the scream he just uttered. His injured hand visibly shook, the gash in his wrist so deep his veins were visible. 1. Who wants what? I'm gonna take a break and... Oh, okay. Anyway, 1. It had been a long day for him. Summer was like living in an oven for Lowlands, especially Swedes who wore long-sleeved black shirts. He collapsed on the grass, panting. He'd been living this way for a year now. He was 14 and didn't need anyone anymore. He had formed a strong bond with Null. All he needed was his Null and food and water. But now he didn't have that, and he let his tongue hang out, stars swirling on the edge of his vision. No, I'm losing my consciousness. He groped at the ground, ripping up blades of grass. There was nothing he could do. He let his eyes flutter shut and passed out. Time skip. Hello? Are you okay? He opened his eyes, looking up at a middle-aged woman with dark brown hair and brown eyes. Oh my god, it's my mom. Where am I? He asked. I found you on the lawn. You look awful. Thanks, he muttered. A younger girl ran down the stairs, catching his attention. She was taller than the woman, but looked nothing like her. She had blonde-brown hair, curled at the tips, and wore blue glasses, which is outdated. Behind the frames were the most beautiful eyes he'd ever saw, blue and green. They glittered with concern. Is he okay, Mom? He looks hungry. Keep him company while I get him some food. The woman walked away. Hi! The girl sat down next to him. He couldn't speak for a minute. Hi, he finally said. My name's Devin. Devin smiled. What's yours? Gladiolus Ether. Sorry, I keep forgetting how to pronounce his last name. It's Ether. Gladiolus Ether. I prefer Gladion. Hi, Gladion. Devin waved to him. Gladion raised his eyebrows. She giggled at his response. You're funny. You're annoying, Gladion muttered under his breath. She didn't hear him. What's up with the hairstyle? I prefer not to answer. All right. She adjusted her glasses on her nose, fluffing up her hair. Gladion felt slightly dizzy from the lack of food. He leaned against the couch, his breath rasping in his throat. Me too. I need a drink. Mom! Devin yelled. Are you done yet? No. Gladion looked over at her. I'm Swedish, he boasted. Cool. I'm Adalen. Yeah, that's my fan region. I don't know how to say that. I don't know the translation. What the fuck? Hang on. No. How the fuck do you say that? Okay. You know what? Fuck that. I think it means cool. It's a translated version of cool. Okay. Gladnon replied. What? Cool. Devin giggled. I know a little Russian. Is your brother Russian? No? Russian. No, she's Belarusian. Можем ли быть друзьями? What? Gladion suddenly got worried that she'd said something offensive about him. Can we be friends, Gladion? Devin asked. Gladion felt chilled. He never had a friend, mainly because he was on his own, a solo person. The pain of his future death shocked him from the back, and he did his best not to flinch. Wait. I think that says okay. Yes? No? I don't know what the fuck this says. I'm sorry if anyone watching is Swedish. I literally based Gladion entirely off of Vinesauce Joel, and it's cringe. I don't use that word lightly, by the way. Uh, Blagodareva. I think that's how that says. How that's pronounced. I'm not fluent, okay? I know Russian, I'm just not fluent. Bla Blagodareva. I think that's like Zdorova or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I forget. She looked proud of herself and she grabbed his hand. Gladion jumped a little at her action, feeling his heart speed up. He didn't understand why. Oh. Evan's mother came back with a plate of apple slices. Gladion gratefully thanked her. He hadn't eaten in days. Um, Nevertheless, had he been treated this way before either. He shook away the memories of his past, feeling Devon let go of his hand. Sudden sadness unexpectedly stabbed his chest. Suddenly he was feeling emotions that weren't his, which is some kind of lore thing that I tried to put in this. It didn't work, or maybe it was the other guy I wrote this with. I don't remember. Um, he definitely did not feel this way around her. He ate all the apples, throwing himself back on the couch. Thanks, he said. No problem, Devon's mother nodded. Gladion, what were you doing out there in such a bad state? Devon asked. Gladion felt a prickle of concern in his chest, a feeling that was definitely not his. He glanced at the jaunty girl next to him, her gaze worried. Suddenly it started to piece together. Hey, Gladion, want to come up to my room? Devon asked. Sure. Gladion stood up. Finally, I can tell her. Devon led him up 3 flights of stairs. By the time Gladion got up to top floor to her room, he wanted to curl up on her bed and sleep. Um, he stood there feeling worse than he actually looked. He's broken now. I never meant to come here, you know. Gladion leered at her as she tried to near him again. Well, you don't have to be so rude, you know. He scoffed. Whatever. Wow, what is your problem, Gladion? Devon asked. Well, let's see. I have a shitty family. I ran away. I haven't eaten in the last, say, week. And if you think that he was nervous to say it, that I like you, you're wrong. I must admit, you're cute, but I have no feelings on the other than the limited number I have at the moment. He glared at her, making her back up as if he'd kill her on the spot. Jesus Christ. Wait, if you don't like me, why did you call me cute? Devon asked. Gladion fought back the urge to yell at her. She was at least 2 years younger, he told himself. Have some decency. She's small and naive. Because I don't have feelings for you, but I have to admit it. Devon looked dismayed. Gladion felt the same flicker of dismay in his chest. Aw, me, I think you're pretty cute yourself, Devin admitted, looking away. Galdion clenched his teeth, the blood rushing to the bridge of his nose. Uh-huh, nice. Anyways, let's not talk about each other, please. Devin looked at the ceiling. Okay. Gladion sighed, shame rising in his throat. You do understand I can feel your emotions, right? What? Devin screamed. Yeah, like when I first looked at you, I felt it. Oh, Dios mio. Fuck, that's a Vine Sauce reference right there. Devin looked at her feet. So that's how you knew. Okay, well, you're making it super fucking obvious, Gladion snapped. Sorry, Devin yelled, looking as if she was afraid of getting her face bitten off by him. Gladion suddenly felt guilty he'd snapped at her. Sorry, he muttered. You are, though. To top that off, he petted her head and then lay down on her bed. You mind if I sleep here? I haven't gotten a good night's sleep in a long time. Okay, Devin giggled. I'll sleep in my dad's room. He won't mind. She turned the lights off and shut the door after she left. And author's note. So, oh, this is from the other guy that wrote this. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna say who it is, so I'll just, yeah. Author's note. Sorry it took so long. I never have any time to finish any chapters because I have other stuff. Glad on. Oof. All right, I think I'm gonna get halfway through this and then like post a part two. 12. Okay, that's not that bad. This story goes by pretty fast anyway, so. Devin wasn't able to sleep, knowing that Gladion was in her bed. She'd woken her up around 10 o'clock and snuggled into the sheets with him. Thinking she was null, Gladion had put one arm around her, as he always did with his faithful Pokemon. I just hit myself in the face with what I'm fidgeting with. She had one arm wrapped around his waist, and they slept there until Gladion left. Gladion woke up the next morning. Jesus fuck, Devin, who let you in here? Gladion yelped, waking up and seeing her. It's my room. I couldn't sleep. Devin looked up at him with sleepy eyes. Gladion softened. Well, at least you don't kick me. I thought you were null. Devin giggled. You're weird. The Swede narrowed his eyes. I hope nobody saw me in here. That was so humiliating. I don't sleep with girls, not even my own sister. What the fuck? Well, you're really snuggly. Shut up, Gladion barked, his face flushed. He smiled sheepishly. See, we already formed a friendship. Devin cuddled up to him. I still don't have feelings for you. Gladion looked down at her. I know, you don't like girls, I get it. I like every gender equally. I just don't want a relationship at the moment. Oh my god! He's like bisexual and aromantic. That's so. Oh my god, we stand a bisexual arrow queen king. Anyway, he said at the moment, which means he still wants me. She grinned into his side. I heard that, Devin, he muttered. I forgot. Damn, now I can't think disturbing things about you. Gladion snorted. Who would do that? That's disgusting. Um, it was a joke. They were silent for a second, only the sound of Gladion humming a song Devin didn't recognize as he let his fingers run down her spine. The action calmed the sleepy 14-year-old, and pretty soon she was asleep again. I thought she was 12. He's the 14-year-old. She's okay. Their ages are really inconsistent in this, by the way. But canonically to the Harlan verse, here Devin was 16. Actually, her name is Harlan, not Devin. What the fuck am I talking about? Okay, I'm gonna call her Harlan now. Sorry. She's 16 in this and he's 17, so let's just go with that, because that's Harlan verse canon. I need to make a Harlan verse channel, honestly, because, like, holy fuck. That is a whole can of worms in itself. Anyway, Gladion was pretty sad to see her asleep. He'd actually taken a liking to this clingy, annoying girl. He felt pained even to think of that about her. Okay, fine, I admit it, I do have a little crush on her. But no way am I telling her that. I'd never hear the end of it. Oh fuck, I think I need help. His hand shook a little as he stroked her back unintentionally. Help me, Solgaleo. Fuck. Sorry, I know how to say it, I am stuttering. Help me, Sogalio. Oh God, help me. He clicked his tongue and laid down, the sound waking Harlan up. Damn it. You woke me up, Harlan whined. Sorry. He flinched as he curled up with him again. Why are you so sleepy? I don't sleep well. Harlan jumped a little as he pulled her close. Well, I'm making sure you get all the sleep you need. Gladion's voice was gentle but firm. He wasn't brave enough to do anything else but hold her there. Gladion felt overpowered by his feelings and his mind telling him what to do. He sighed, stirring a few strands of her hair. He sighed again. Fuck. He found himself feeling sleepy as well and let his head lean on hers. He woke up to Harlan every day now. Gladion did not regret passing out on her lawn. As the days passed, they got closer and closer. These were Gladion's dreams now. He didn't understand why he was so attached to her. She was only a girl. He denied liking her, even though his heart accepted the fact that he wanted her and only her in his life. Oh, come on, he told himself. You're better than this, Gladiolus Ether. You're on your own. You don't need her. You have Lily, your own sister. You feel horrible. He had stopped attempted to talk himself out of this. Okay, but like you can't date your sister, dude. That's weird. Um, that's really fucking weird. I don't know why I put that in there. He still didn't want to accept this fact. You know what, Gladiolus Ether? You're an idiot. A soft idiot. Gladion snarled quietly at himself. Harlan moaned softly in her sleep as she shifted in her bed. Gladion wasn't brave enough to look at her. He had to admit. Oh, wait. She was too cute, he had to admit. I'm sorry. My mom's texting me. Hang on. Anyway. Um, Harlan moaned softly in her sleep as she shifted in. He turned his head to look at the clock on her wall. It was 5:03 and he was still a bit sleepy. Be brave, Gladion. He tilted his head awkwardly, jumping a little as she shifted again. Gladion quickly kissed the top of her head and fell asleep with a small smile. Time skip. Gladion, wake up! Harlan prodded his shoulder. Gladion warily opened his eyes, yelping as he found her hands on his chest. What time is it? He muttered. 10:07. Don't worry, it's the weekend. Mom won't wake up till 12. Gladion nodded, but still unsure. Harlan stretched and got up, running downstairs in a hurry. Gladion moaned in agony as pain bolted through his muscles. Harlan heard him, seeing him clutch his arm and screw his eyes shut. Oh, Gladion, are you okay? Harlan cried. Do I look okay? Gladion snarled between his teeth. Let me tell you something. When I was 12, I accidentally got into toxins in this wound. He raised his arm to show her. I have to keep it bandaged 24/7. I'm dying slowly. The toxins, they're eating away at me little by little until my heart fails. Gladiolus Ether, is that why you passed out? Harlan asked, her voice shaky. Gladion's arm went numb. Yeah. He shook it, trying to wake it up. I had a shitty childhood. I have a shitty family. I'm dying. I'm living the life, you know. He rolled his eyes. Oh, um. Harlan stared into his eyes. Oh, Gladion, please don't die on me. Gladion couldn't make any promises. He was scared of telling her this, but he had to for her sake. I just forgot what I said. Gladion couldn't make any promises, blah, 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 blah. I can't make any promises. There's no cure, no known remedy to filter the poison out of my blood. Harlan dropped to her knees. Oh, I can't say that on YouTube. If anything ever happens to my dear Gladion, I will do something that I cannot say on YouTube. Gladion was shocked. Don't say that, he snarled. I also cannot say this. I attempted something that I can't say on YouTube. It wasn't the best idea, but I can't deal with this my entire life. You know that. He trod quietly downstairs and was quiet. Okay? His hand twitched and he shook it, trying to get it to stop. So, Harlan said nervously. She wiped her eyes. You mean you got toxins in your wound and it's irreversible. And it's like acid burning me from the inside and eating at me until it's too much for me to handle and I collapse and die. His voice became Vicious. And nobody is helping me out and trying to save me. I'm worthless. I'd appreciate more respect. I'm president of the Ether Foundation's son, for Sogalio's sake. Harlan winced. Gladio began to hyperventilate. He shook his head, dropping to his knees and burying his head in his hands, his protests to Alola's guardian angel coming out as agonized sobs. Why did you have to do this, Sogalio? Why? At that, Gladion felt weaker. He yelped as he lost his grip on his consciousness, and before he blacked out, a plea for help ripped from his throat.
Rädda mig.
Next part. Okay. Now shit gets real. Let me check my phone real quick. Okay. 3. Gladion didn't wake up for a long time. He couldn't wake up. Losing his grip on his consciousness made him oblivious to his senses and wills. He lay there on the bed until the toxins kicked in and he woke up with a loud, shrill scream. Gladion found himself back on square one, his nightmare. He snapped curses at anyone who neared him in order to see his mother. Lusamine is busy. I apologize. This was everyone's answer. Do I look like I care? Gladion hissed. Shadows pulsed at the edges of his vision. He lay back down, fixing the Ether Foundation employee with a vicious glare. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, Gladion snarled. Excuse me? You're obviously doing nothing to help me. Get out of here, you Ether employee fuck, Gladion spat. The employee, intimidated, scuttled away from him, scared that if he did anything else he'd get executed. Poor kid. Gladion laughed cruelly and sneezed. Bless you. Gladion looked up and glared. Sorry. Gladion looked up and glared into a pair of blue and green eyes. The unbearable grip and an unfortunate feeling pressured on his chest, and he gasped for breath. God damn it, Harlan. Are you okay, Gladion? Harlan asked softly. Her voice was soothing, and it made Gladion feel calmer. How did you know where I was? Gladion asked. I've been sleeping here for the past few days. Harlan tipped her head. Her grip loosened on his wrist. I feel so sorry for you, Gladion. It's nothing. He turned his head away from her. Are you sure? I'm fine. I always spaz out like this. Um, Harlan sighed. Gladion, there are things I'd love to do to you that you'd never approve of. Um, she murmured under his breath. He murmured under her breath, sorry. Gladion pretended not to hear. Just a second ago you were going insane. And now you're the other side of yourself now that I'm here. Harlan was hinting at his deepest, darkest secret. That's suspicious, you know. Hey! Gladion snapped, catching an employee's eye. Employee looked up, startled. Go get my mother, will you, you ether employee fuck? Gladion snarled. The employee ran off, her eyes frightened. Jesus, Harlan said. That was pretty harsh. These people never understand a thing you say. You're so highly respected around here. Harlan looked into his eyes. Gladion refused to make eye contact. Think of it as Lusamine being the queen and I being the prince, along with my sister Lily, who'd be the princess. Oh, that makes sense. Which, in fact, that metaphor or whatever is actually pretty much true. Gladion sighed, a growl rolling in his throat. Lusamine plans to marry Guzma and take over Alola with a kingdom or something. I don't know. Ouch, no wonder you ran away. Harlan patted his head. Gladion didn't mind. He realized over many nights being alone that he needed Harlan close in these times. Ugh. Ugh. Excuse me. Just somewhere near and he'd be okay. Excuse me. Sir, the employee said, coming back. She's too busy arranging something or other with Guzma. Well, tell her that I need to see her, Gladion snarled. Why is everyone keeping their distance? I don't bite. Because she doesn't love you, the employee said. She looked down at him with gentle blue eyes. Do you remember me? This was an OC I had named Alice, and apparently, something or other, Gladion, killed her or something? I don't... This whole universe is fucked up, okay? I'll just tell you that. I don't remember a thing of this horrid place, you fucking fuck. Gladion gritted his teeth. Go away. The employee sulked off. Everyone thinks I need to be treated gently because I'm sick. Gladion rolled his eyes as far as they would go. Fucking hell. And they treat me like I'm 5. And I'm 14 or 15, I can't remember. Damn it, I've gotten stupider. Get your arm off me, Gladio snapped, slapping Harlan's arm away from his injured wrist. Ow! She recoiled. Sorry. He got up from the bed. Where are you going? Harlan asked gently. To go see my mother. Come on. He let her take his wrist again, and he led her out of the room he was staying in. Gladiolus Ether, if you get me killed, I'm never going to forgive you. Harlan hissed into his shoulder. I won't get you killed. Gladion purred. He chuckled. Mother has no capability of kit. He stopped as he saw two guards guarding the door to Lucimine's room. Ling. He flinched as he started to aim their guns at him. I don't know why Harlan uses his full name all the time. It's really stupid. But anyway, I told you this was a bad idea, Gladion Ether. Nicole, sorry. Harlan dug her nails into his arm. One of the guards started to recognize the two of them, whilst Gladion recognized the dark gray eyes of the guard who was lowering his rifle. Gladion, Sun yelped. Sun? Gladion asked. Moon, it's all right, Sun murmured to the other guard. Harlan let go of Gladion for a minute, his fingers warm on his. Don't you two have babies you need to be making? Gladion teased. Bro, what the fuck? They're literally siblings. Okay, whatever. Whatever. They're not in this universe. Be quiet, Sun glared at him. Go in. Gladion led Harlan into the room where Lucimine was sitting in front of a mess of papers. She looked up at her son. You filthy mess of a child, what did you do to your handsome self? Lucimine shrilled. Mother, I'm okay. Gladion shook his head at her. If you're hinting at my hairstyle, you're a fucking idiot and you need to stop being so judgmental. Lucimine stood up over the papers. Isn't my idea of turning this tribe of imbeciles into a kingdom? Wow, that is really offensive. By capturing Howland's son? Harlan snarked. Hush, shush, Gladion snapped gently. I can't believe my ugly child has finally gotten himself a girlfriend, and such a pretty girl too, just like my daughter. Lucimine's eyes softened as they rested on Harlan. You stay away from her, Gladion spat, shielding Harlan. He felt her hands on his hips and he crossed his arms. She's such a pretty girl, though. Lucimine cuffed her hands around Gladion's chin. Get your hands off my face, Gladion hissed. Won't you let me borrow her for a while? Lucimine said with a fond drip to her voice. Lucimine, Ether, get away from us right now before I beat you up right here and right now. Lucamine backed off from him. I still can't believe a nice little boy would turn into a punk like you. Mother, I'm a punk rocker, not an actual punk. Gladion tilted his head towards Harlan. Am I? He whispered. Never in a million years, she whispered back. Gladion felt the same heat he felt when he slept at her as she rested her head in the back of his neck. Pretty soon it'll just be us, Guzma and I in our little Lola kingdom. The normal prince and princess. Lucamine looked over the ocean. I am normal, Mother. Sure you are. I have a guard who can't talk because an Umbreon ripped out her vocal cords. I do remember that. That was lore to this fucking fanfiction. Um, Sun helps her get on with everyday life, Lucamine Ether. Don't you say she's disabled because she isn't. Actually, she is. If an Umbreon disfigured her. But anyway, Harlan snarled, making Lucamine laugh. Gladion shook his head. Mother, you need to stop this right now. Who says? Lucamine said. I say, Gladion snarled. Me too, Harlan chimed in. Haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door? I'm sorry. Ugh. Um, hair in my mouth. Gladion forced his hand to stop shuddering. Lucamine, I will not let you marry Guzma. I won't let you marry Harlan, Lucamine shot back. Gladion flushed. Mother, stop. Harlan crossed her arms over Gladion's misshapen chest, which is also another lore thing, but it was for the furry OC I had for him. Anyway, blowing into his ear. The fuck? You're definitely gonna propose to her later in life, and when that happens, you two are gonna get into bed and make a few babies. And which did happen in this fanfic that we're not going to read. Actually, I could skip over it, but. Lucamine either, Gladion screamed. Harlan buried her face into his hoodie, her face hot against the back of his neck. And then you and your family will get kicked out of my kingdom because I don't need more pesky children to be running around. I hate you, Mother. Gladion's face reddened. And I'm leaving. Harlan let go of him and followed him, noticing his blush. She sighed, following him. So it had been true. He did love her. Harlan had known it from the start. Anyway. Oh my god, there's still so much left. I'm gonna get to like this is gonna be the last chapter, okay? I'm gonna do this in multiples of 3. Or 4, or whatever the fuck. Last chapter, and then I'm giving my voice a break. Harlan's dreams often spiraled into nightmares as she worried about her beloved Gladion. She found herself unable to sleep and woke up to hear Lusamine talking loudly with a man with white hair from what she could see. If he doesn't heal quickly, I'll kill him myself. What good is a prince if he's too sick to get out of bed? You're so sensible, Guz. Lusamine giggled. It's the right thing to do. Harlan saw the man take Lusamine's elegant hand. When we gain reign, I will make sure your needs are fulfilled. I believe you. I love you, Lusamine. The outburst made Lusamine's eyes widen. I love you too, Guzma. She placed her hands on his chest. Ow. Harlan saw a familiar flash of gray eyes meet hers from the end of the hall. Sun raised his rifle, sneaking through the halls with a younger figure Harlan didn't recognize. Sun has a sister? Harlan whispered. Sun glared at her, aiming his rifle at Harlan's heart. Harlan escaped to Gladion's room, diving into bed with him and waking him up. Mother, no, don't kill me! Gladion screamed, grabbing Nicole roughly. Shush, it's just me, you oaf. Harlan hugged him, attempting to calm him down. She could feel his pulse racing in his chest, and he hugged her back, shaking and crying. Mm. Gladion, please calm down. I'm here. I won't let you die. How can you be so sure? Gladion whispered. His tears were hot on Harlan's shoulder. I'm hurting so bad right now. Oh, God. It's okay, Gladion. Shush. Um, Harlan stroked the back of his blond head, feeling him lift his weight off her body. She wiped away the bittersweet tears that fell from his beautiful green eyes, taking his injured wrist in a gentle grip. A strange look came into Gladion's eyes, as if he couldn't stop looking at her. Harlan understood, and she nodded, feeling his breath on her neck. Gladion sighed. Harlan, you already know how you make me feel, don't you? Yes. She shifted uncomfortably. Gladion sighed, unable to find his words. Trying to get it. There we go. I don't love people, okay? But something is bringing me closer to you than Lily. That's who I love more than anyone in the world. But I guess he swallowed. My heart brings you closer. At this point, I can't tell if it's like a never mind. I feel the same way. His gaze was chilling. I can tell. He offered his hand to her, um, placing it on her leg. She placed hers over his, and he smiled, the first bittersweet smile he'd ever cracked in front of her. Everything fell into place. His attachment, his problems, her attachment. He broke the silence. I can't say it. He looked at his soft feet. I can't. I can. She let her other leg overlap his, her foot touching his. I love you, gladiolus ether. He blushed and smiled shyly, unable to say it back to her. She blushed as well, climbing onto his lap. Gladion hugged her to his chest, not wanting to let go. We have to keep this a secret, Harlan. Don't worry, I'm good at keeping secrets. Oh god, this guy is sexual. Gladion let his fingers touch the crook between her legs. I believe you could also keep this one, he conceded. Gladion? Harlan asked fearfully. His fingers tickled the underside of her thigh. Shush. Look at me, he ordered softly. His nose brushed hers, and he tilted his head, kissing her passionately. Harlan's eyes widened and relaxed underneath him. She didn't realize how much she loved him until this moment. He broke the kiss, leaving a sweet taste on her lips. I didn't expect you to be such a good kisser, the Swede mused. I didn't expect you to do that, the Belarusian Adel yelped. He chuckled. I've been meaning to. Gladion stiffened, pulling away from her. Ow, he groaned. Fuck. I need my sleep. If anything happens, you tell me right away. You hear me? He's getting more unstable as he spoke. I will. Feel better, Harlan said, leaving the room. Um, Leon pulled the blankets over himself, watching her go. He looked blindly up at the IVs the employees had provided him to lessen his pain. These IVs could lessen the roaring pain that flared through his blood. They couldn't chill the regret and sadness that followed after realizing he couldn't marry Harlan due to his mother. Claudion sighed in agony, letting his vision blur out into darkness, and he fell into a fitful sleep. Ugh, drink break. Let me see how much is left. Holy shit! You know, I'm gonna stop here because my voice hurts. I'm gonna take a break, and we will continue later. It's already 40 minutes. Holy shit. Alright. Bye.